What is your intention for this session this evening, this first Monday of 2021? Or whenever you're doing this practice, if you're doing it at a future time, what's your intention here? And trying to focus clearly on that intention and dedicating your practice to this intention. Could be being kind to yourself, relaxing, de-stressing. Could be surrender, could be just a word, soften, spacious, peace, any word, any intention. And if the mind wanders, that's absolutely normal, and you can just notice that and invite the mind gently to come back to the breathing and refocus your mind on your intention for this session. And finishing this preparatory stage by taking 3 deep breaths. So breathing in and seeing if you can maintain awareness from the moment you breathe in until the moment you breathe out. Noticing any space or change when the out breath becomes the next in breath, and when the in breath becomes the warm out breath. And we're going to prepare to move now. So bringing yourself into a position where you are on your feet. So come into a standing position. We're going to move into a Tai Chi based warm up before we come to the ground for some more mobilization. So we're going to stand with our feet wider than our hips and our toes pointing out to the corners. Some knees can be slightly bent. And we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe in, we're going to press out our knees as we sink down and press our hands in. So we're going to press our hands into our thighs. And then we're going to turn as we breathe out towards the side. So we turn, so we breathe in to sink and press our knees out. We breathe out. And so beginning to do this, now you've got the move, turning this into a flow with your own breathing. So breathing in and breathing out, and just follow your own breath. So you don't need to follow me, you just need to follow your own breathing here. So sinking down and reaching up to the side. So pressing the knees out as we breathe in and reaching up and pointing the toe. Just doing this once more on each side, and then we're going to do something a little bit different. And we're going to layer this. So we're going to increase the range of movement. So here we now stand with our feet hip width apart. And breathing in, bringing the palms up and in front of us and the toe pointing out. And then breathing out, we bring the leg to the side and the arms out. Then we breathe back out here. So we breathe in and out. Sorry, breathe in and then back out again. Let's do that on the other side. So breathing in and breathing out. So it's like you're lifting energy. So we breathe in and then bringing the energy back. Breathing out. you might even hear that sigh of the out-breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's go back to our other movement. So standing a little wider apart. So we breathe in, and this time leaning forward a bit more and lifting that foot if you wish. So we're breathing in and making this a flowing and graceful movement, almost balletic. At your own pace. Feeling the flow and seeing if you can coordinate the breathing in and out. In and out. And just feeling the grace in the body and the breath. Two more each side. And then we'll come back to stand with feet hip width apart. Just enjoying this last two. And then coming back to stand. This time we're going to lift the leg, so we're going to breathe in and out. And if you wish, you can simply remain where you were, breathing in and out. So you don't have to lift the foot, but you can if you wish. Preparing for our balance later. Warming up the hip flexors. Breathing in and out. Two more each side. And if you wish, you can straighten the leg as you do this. Make it a little bit harder. So you can straighten the leg. You choose which option works best for you. And then come to a standing position. Just checking in with how the body feels, having done this movement. This lovely, graceful body. And making your way down to your mat or just to the ground and coming to all fours. So we're going to do cat-cow, but we're going to do it in a particular way. So I'm going to ask you to imagine, you know, if you have a cat, you'll be aware of those little laser beam lights. So I just want you to imagine a little laser light. And to begin with, this laser is going, it's just right underneath where you are. It's between your hands. So visualize that laser point between your hands. And then it's going to go in a straight line up the wall. And I want you to follow the laser all the way up to the ceiling. So watch it. And then it comes right back down through your hands, through your knees, and to the back wall behind you. So breathe in to hollow out the back, to arch the back, look up to the ceiling, and breathe out to arch the back like a cat. And then we hollow the back, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And it's just a different flavour if you imagine this light. The body moves in a much more natural way. So trying to focus the breath, so breathing in to come up and breathe out. Mobilising the spine. Let's do that one more time. So looking up and then arching the back. Coming back into Balasana, child's pose. So sitting your bottom back onto your heels, stretching your hands out in front of you. And you can always come back to this pose anytime you feel like it. From here, coming back to your hands and knees into tabletop position. tucking your toes in and pushing back on through to downward facing dog. So here, pedal out the feet, looking between the knees or looking towards the navel. Staying static here, pressing the shoulders through and lifting the hips up while at the same time pressing the heels down towards the ground and feeling that in the hamstrings. Lifting the hips high, pressing the palms and the fingers into the ground. And then releasing, slowly walking one foot in at a time and then hanging out in forward fold. So as far as you can go, you can clasp your elbows with your hands, you can rest your hands on the floor or you can rest them on your shins. So you guys just hang out there for a few breaths, feeling the release in the lower back. And now we're going to begin to move into our flow part of the class. So we're going to come to mountain pose, so standing with your feet underneath your hips. You come to our flow. So feeling the soles of your feet on the ground. So this is our Tadasana pose, mountain pose. So I'm going to show you this way, but you're going to want to face this way on your mat. I'm showing you here. So in Tadasana, mountain pose, we are connected to the ground through the soles of our feet. So just rocking gently back and forth on your feet and coming to a place of balance and poise. So we're having the core engaged, so the belly, the buttocks slightly engaged, not fully, but about 30%. So if you squeeze them in and then let them go to about 30%, that's where we are in mountain pose. So we breathe our arms up, and you can't see, so, and we have our hands in Anjali salute position above our head. Then we're going to bend the knees slightly and breathe in, and then come into back bend. So baby back bend. Bracing the buttocks here to protect us, and then bringing our hands forward, so by our ears, and bending the knees. This is chair pose. So we're looking for like a zigzag kind of position here, and we sit back. So focusing your weight on the heels, really holding in the core and keeping your arms, your biceps by your ears here. So we look for a kind of zigzag position. Great. That's it. So keeping the arms straight. So it's a real energetic pose. It's like a lightning bolt. And then we come down again into forward fold. Stepping one leg back, stepping the other leg back into plank. From here, placing the knees down on the ground, untucking the toes and floating down to Chaturanga, and then rolling the shoulder blades and the shoulders back to baby cobra. So squeezing the back body, so squeezing the shoulder blades down towards your back pockets. Tucking the toes under again and pushing backwards to downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees slightly, look forward between your hands and step your front leg forward in between your hands, giving it a bit of help if it needs it. Placing your back knee down on the ground, and we're going to twist, so we're revolving and lifting the arm. If there's any pregnancy or anything, then we go the other way, so always turn away if you're pregnant. So this is our twisting lunge, a lovely spinal twist here. And seeing if you can let go of it in the hip as well. Just allowing a few breaths here. This lovely pose that gets our hips as well as our spine. And then placing the hand back, tucking the toe, Lifting up again into our supported lunge and stepping back towards forward fold. Lifting up back to Tadasana. So we're reaching up to the sky with our prayer position hands. Breathing in and breathing out as we bend back. So we squeeze the butt, bend the knees slightly. And coming back down, bringing the hands down to forward fold. If you're feeling energetic, then jump back to plank. Otherwise, just step back to plank. From our plank position, you can place our knees or stay on our toes as we float down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Holding here and breathing up to upward dog or cobra. Upward dog is here with our quads off the floor, our knees off the floor, our hips lifted and our heart open. Cobra is down with the hips on the ground, the shoulders and the shoulder blades rolled back and the heart still open. So choose your option here, or we can always stay with baby cobra. Untucking the toes, coming back to downward facing dog. Look between the hands and place the back foot between the hands. Placing the knee down and twisting on the other side. So feeling that lesson go. You can even squeeze the knee in towards the chest a little. It might have a tendency to flare out a bit. So squeeze that in. Notice the difference there. And placing the hand back down. Lifting the knee and looking between the hands, stepping the feet together. We lift once more. I'm going to do this again one more time on each side. So reaching up, coming back down into our chair pose. So we're squeezing our butts here, squeezing the core, checking everything, and sit back as much as you can. Can you sink a bit lower here? This is intense pose. Okay, and coming down to forward fold. Stepping or jumping back into plank position. Knees or toes down to Chaturanga, crocodile. Keeping the elbows in close to the ribs and coming up to baby cobra, cobra or upward facing dog. Squeezing the back of the body, the chest and the heart is open. Tucking the feet, tucking the toes and pushing back to downward facing dog. Heels towards the ground, hips lifted high and looking towards the hand. Bend the knees and bring your front foot between your hands. Knee back down, and this time we're reaching again to the front. And if you wish, you can lift that back knee here, so you've got a higher lunge. Placing the hand back down, and stepping back to forward fold. Breathing up, rolling the spine as you do so, meeting the hands above your head. Squeeze the glutes. Breathe out to baby back bend with the knees slightly bent. Each time you do this, you may go back a little further. And then breathing out to come down to our intense pose. Just squeezing the butt. Squeezing the core. Take a breath in here, so don't stop breathing. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, see if you can sink down into your chair a bit lower. And you should be feeling the burn here. So pressing in through the feet, this beautiful thunderbolt pose. I always think you look like a thunderbolt when you do this. Coming down. Oh, what a relief. Forward fold, just feeling that sense of letting go. Oh. Stepping or jumping back to plank position. Keeping the core tight, the butt squeezed. The navel into the spine. Breathe in here. Breathe out to move into up dog or cobra. So really on this one, roll the shoulders back and open the chest. This real sense of the heart being radiant and open, connecting with your intention for this class. Tucking the toes and pushing back towards downward facing dog. Heels down, shoulders back and down, hips lifted high. Breathe in, look through your hands, and breathe out to release the foot to between the hands and place the knee down. Revolving to the back this time, lifting the arm high. And if you wish, you can tuck the toes under and lift up for a higher lunge. Really powering the back leg. And then coming back down. And stepping the feet together, coming back to forward fold. And lift your breath up to the sky. And letting the arms come down. Have a sip of water if you need one. At any time in this class you can pause. So it's absolutely fine to take this at any pace you need to. So we're going to do standing strength now. So we start with a wide leg forward fold. So we're doing lots of folding today. We're doing lots of nice twisting movements of the spine and releasing in the spine. So we're going to take our legs nice and wide and we're going to tip forward from our hips. So we're going to tip forward with our legs nice and wide and place our hands on the floor. So it doesn't matter where your hands are. You might be up here. It might be that you've got a flat back. It might be that you've got your elbows on the floor. It might be that you have your head on the floor. And if you have a blanket or a cushion and you want to place it underneath your head, but they're going to demonstrate with a nearby box or a block or something, you can also do that. So I'm just going to demonstrate an alternative here. So we're just going to hang out here for 4 more breaths. So feeling that in the back of the legs, in the groin, pushing the buttocks backwards and up and letting the back hang out here. Slight bend in the knees if you need to, especially if you've got hypermobile joints. And then placing the hands down on the ground if they're not already there. Bending the knees and bringing yourself up to a wide-legged standing position. So we're going to turn the toes. So we're going to turn the toes on this side towards the wall. We're going to turn the toes on this side towards the front. We're going to keep our body, our torso facing the front. We're going to breathe our arms out and sink down. This is our warrior 2. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, see if you can sink a little more and look over your front fingertips. Keep the body aligned over the hips and squeeze the butt and push through the back leg equally as much as the front leg, pressing this knee out. And as you do that, you should feel the power of this move, the power of the warrior. So we're going to straighten the front leg now, breathing in, and we breathe out to rotate into extended triangle pose. So you can look up to the top. When we're in our triangle pose, you can either place the hand, you can hold the hand here. As always, have a slight bend in the legs if that's helpful for you. Look down towards the bottom hands or up towards the top. And we imagine that we're in between 2 panes of glass. Just taking another deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, bend the front knee and start to bring the arms to a horizontal position again. And then keep revolving so that you place your back hand on your back leg and see. So we're saluting the sun. It's nighttime, but the sun's out there. It's just not shining in our direction. So we're saluting the sun here. Feel a lovely stretch in the spine, and sink down even more if you can. Just sinking down into that front leg, keeping the knee out over the toe. Breathing in and breathing out to come up and turn the feet to the other direction. So we're going to find our warrior two. So we point this foot this way and we point our other foot to the front. Breathing the arms up and out, shoulders back and down. Power the arms up. Breathe in and sink. So the key to this move is having the legs wide enough that you can sink down. That's really important. A lot of the time, see people here, and that means that the knee goes out over the front foot. It's really important that the knee doesn't go over the front toes. So not forgetting this back leg here, powering it up, acknowledging the side of the back foot, feeling the contact with the earth in both the feet. Take a breath in here and sink down a bit lower and check that you don't bring your torso with you. And importantly, keep breathing and try smiling as you look out. You can even imagine a beautiful sunrise just over the tips of your fingers. And we are going to salute the sun after we do our extended triangle once more. So breathing in, breathing out to straighten the leg and revolve. So hand on shin, or it can be floating, whatever works for you. Look up towards your top fingertips or down towards your lower hand. Arms powering in different directions, so feeling the energy between one set of fingertips and the others. Keeping the core braced, checking that your bum isn't sticking out. Just do me a little favour and just check if your bum's sticking out. I can't see. Breath in here and breath out to bend that front knee and revolve the arms to a horizontal position. Keep going. And we salute that sun. Knee out again. Breath in here. And you sink a little bit lower. Pressing into the back foot still. And breathing out to come back up. Let's do that one more time on each side. So we've got our foot pointing this way for warrior two. Breathing our arms out. And sinking down into warrior two. We know what to do now, so we relax the shoulders, we power up, we look over the fingertips, we check the torso is nice and square. We breathe in, we get our warrior face on, and we go, ah, and breathe out, looking over the fingertips. Just feel that power. Feel the strength of this wonderful body that you inhabit. And say, thanks, warrior body, for turning up for me today. Breathe in and breathe out to straighten that leg and revolve around into triangle pose. You should feel that on the hip adductor, on this front leg. Do this butt squeeze, squeeze the butt, squeeze the core. Are you aligned? Imagine there's maybe not glass, maybe perspex. A bit of a museum exhibit here, in between some perspex, because you're very precious. Breath in here. As you breathe out, we're revolving back to Sun Warrior. And we've got an extra option here. So as we C-shape the spine and feel that lovely stretch, taking a breath in here, and as you breathe out, you might want to lift the heel of the front foot and sink down even lower. That's just a choice. You can just play with it. You can try lifting it, putting it back down. Oh, shaky legs. It's really good resistance training with body weight. It's a joyful pose, even if it hurts the legs. Breathing in and breathing out to change sides. Back to warrior two on the other side. So breathe in, breathe out to sink lower. Powering up the back leg, checking the core is engaged, feeling the uplift of the body on our last warrior. The dignity reaching out the arms, checking the knees out over the toe. Squeeze those glutes, acknowledge the bum, wake it up. Breathe in here, feel that sense of uplift, and then breathe out to let that front knee straighten, revolving into extended triangle. Taking your option, again, that could be knee bent here, could be holding onto the thigh. It's always with the butt squeeze though, that's not an option. Breath in here, and as you breathe out, let's salute our glorious sun one more time as we revolve back, finding the back thigh, finding that lovely C shape in the spine, finding our legs planted into the ground and pressing against them. Breathe in here and breathe out to come to a standing position. While I adjust my yoga socks, in fact I'm going to take them off because I'm quite warm now. I no longer have cold feet. So we've got a slightly different balance track today, but where we are headed is indeed balance. And we're going to be flying today, diving, flying, might be wobbling. Any of that is absolutely fine. If you think you might fall, please do hold on to something like a wall. Just take care of yourself. If you think you might wobble and fall, then have a soft landing. Okay, so coming back to our Tadasana pose. So our core is engaged, our knees are slightly soft, our lower back is nice and relaxed, our shoulders are relaxed, our chest is open, our neck is long and comfortable, and our feet are in good contact with the ground. So acknowledge one of your legs. Choose which leg you feel like balancing on first, and just acknowledge that leg. I'm going to go with this leg. So gradually transfer the weight into one, and when you're ready, lift your knee in towards your chest. So we lift our knee into the chest. Keep breathing all the while through this. I'm going to keep reminding you. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, take the arm out for counterbalance, and then bring the leg out to the side. Put it down if you need to. Keep it up if you can. Moving the hands, so sliding it down to the ankle, and watch the angle here. So this is horizontal. I'm just going to turn around to show you. It's a horizontal line, plane that we're bringing it round on. Ooh. I need to start again. And we're going to revolve round to flower pose. So we start to lean forward and bend the standing leg as we revolve round, pulling the back leg as far as you can. Breathing here, and then we're going to dive from this flower pose. We're going to dive forward, so we're going to straighten the back leg and bring the hands around behind us. So bending that leg that you're standing on a lot. Ooh, coming forwards. So diving forward. So this is a diving warrior 3. My legs in. We've got 4 balances, 4 times. We're going to do the same on the other side. And some days your balance will be brilliant, and some days it's going to be challenging. I find I'm having a challenging balance day today. So coming back, acknowledging the other leg. Breathing in to lift the other knee towards the chest. Breathing out, bringing that arm out for counterbalance. And then revolving around into flower pose. And then diving forwards. So we straighten the back leg and we sweep the arms back. And we put our foot on a candle, if you're me. So diving forwards, so bending the standing leg a lot and seeing how far you can dive. Coming down when you're ready. I'm going to do that again on the other side. I'm going to go slightly faster this time. So we're breathing in, giving the knee a hug, bringing it to the side, coming around to the flower pose, sweeping the hands back, diving forwards. I love this pose. Imagine sometimes that I'm on a cliff top and I've got a beautiful sea I could dive into, and then coming back, doing the same thing on the other side. So bringing the knee into the chest, arm out to the side, flower pose, revolving the leg, bringing the arm forwards, looking beautiful flowers there, coming down if you need to and starting again, and then sweeping the arms and the leg backwards as you dive forwards, bending that knee a lot. And coming back down, doing that again on the other side. So we've got 2 more times on each side. We're going to go again a little bit quicker this time. So breathing the knee into the chest. And now rounding the spine as you do this. Actually, just here for a moment. Let's just give it a bit of a hug. Bringing the leg out to the side. And beginning to revolve into flower pose. So I'm moving around because I've got a floorboard that's sticking up underneath my foot, and yeah, sweeping back. So I wasn't very much quicker that time. Other side, bringing the knee into the chest, arm and leg out to the side, revolving to flower pose, and sweeping back. Diving down and coming back when you're ready. And this final time, we're going to do it with no hands. So we're going to bring the arms, but we're not going to be touching our legs. So we're going to just bring our hands and our leg up, bring them out to the side, revolve into flower pose. So no touch, you can try and do this touch free if you can, and then sweeping back. Doing that on the other side. So breathing in and up, out to the sides, round to flower pose, revolving that leg around, and sweeping back. And if you come every week, coming down when you're ready, landing softly. If you do this every week, you'll find that this flow will get a lot easier. Your body will get used to it, and you'll be just, you know, you'll be just doing it in the supermarket, except if it wasn't a pandemic, maybe. Going around as they're doing diving warrior threes. Okay, so we're going to come down to the floor now. So I'm going to adjust my camera slightly so it can see me. A bit better on the floor, hopefully. Okay. Move my nose up that way. Okay, so we're going to do bridge pose here. Setu Bandhu. Setu is the Sanskrit word for bridge. Feel free to adjust your cameras if you want me to be able to see you on the floor as well, so that I can comment on your posture. That's completely up to you, you don't have to. So placing your feet close to your buttocks. If there's anyone got any back issues, give me a little wave now if you've got any lower back problems. Okay. So placing, so just lifting the butt slightly and clasping the hands underneath. We're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're going to lift up, pushing through the feet and lifting the buttocks off the floor. So you need to have a nice stable base here. This is Setu Bandhu, bridge pose. So breathing in deeply here and squeezing the butt, lifting the hips as high as you can, and trying not to let the knees flare out too much. Deep breath in here, squeezing, and then the next breath out, rolling the spine down like a bicycle chain, the tailbone the last thing to come down. hugging the knees into the chest. This is our counter pose, releasing the spine. Apanasana. And then doing that again. And if you are feeling warm in your spine, and if you know that you can do a back bend, then feel free to do that. Otherwise, do the same thing again. So lifting the back slightly and clasping the hands underneath, making sure that maybe walking the feet in just another inch or so towards the butt and lifting up. Really bringing the base, your body weight onto your shoulders and your feet. So we're really resting on the shoulders. We're lifting with the glutes, pushing the hips up to the sky. Deep breath in here. One final squeeze of the glutes. Breathe out to start rolling from the ribs, the thoracic spine, through the lower back, and finally allowing the pelvis and the tailbone to rest on the ground. Coming back into Apanasana. Bringing your knees into your chest, rocking from side to side. And we're going to do that one more time. And this time I'm going to do a back bend. And if you have got no back problems, so no naughty backs are allowed to do this, good backs are allowed to do a back bend. And I'm just going to show you how that is if you want to. Otherwise, just do the same thing. So I'll give you instructions for the shoulder bridge first. So we lift, we have our feet close to our butt, our shoulders in good contact with the mat, our hands clasped underneath our buttocks, and we breathe in to prepare and lift up to lift. And keep breathing when you're there. If you want to do a back bend, you take your hands so that your fingers are pointing in towards your shoulders and your elbows are up. You can look at me to see how this is. And as you breathe in to prepare and lift up into a back bend. Lovely stretch for the back. Just taking a few breaths in. If you're in shoulder bridge, keep squeezing those glutes. If you're in back bend with me, take a deep breath in here and tuck your chin in towards your chest and lower down, then in the same way, shoulders first, then ribs, then lower back. Bring your knees into your chest. Apanasana, rolling backwards and forwards. And then taking your knees to a position where you've got your knees straight up and your feet straight out. So you've got a 90-degree angle between your thigh and your calves. So just breathe in here and breathe out to rotate the legs. So bringing the front legs towards the front of the room, keeping the shoulder blades down on the ground, and turn your head in the opposite direction for a lovely spinal twist. Just breathing here. Breathing your legs back up to the center. Breathing in, breathe out to take your legs in the other direction. Looking away from your legs. Breathing in to come back to center. Breathing out to take them over to the other side. And if you want more of a stretch and to bring the leg in, you can also straighten out that top leg. And looking back in the other direction. Breathing in to return the legs to center. Breathing out to take them in the opposite direction. Again, stretching out that top leg if you want more of a stretch. Get the IT band involved. But whatever you're doing, keep breathing. Allow a smile to form on your face and feel how that invites the body to relax. Bringing the legs back to center, placing the soles of the feet on the floor. We're now going to finish with our meditation and relaxation part of the class. So I'm going to just change the music here while you grab your blanket, pillow, anything you would like to make yourself nice and comfortable. I'm going to go for a nice soft grey blanket. Now you can, if you want to, sit up in a seat position, that's fine. In fact, that's what I'm going to do today, just because that's how I'm feeling today. But I invite you to lie down and really just relax here. But wherever you are, just having a nice blanket around you to keep you nice and warm. And I'm going to put another top on. Feel free to grab some socks if you want. And just getting into a nice comfortable position, toning down the lights if you wish to. This time is just for you. Reflecting on your intention for today's class. Acknowledging what you wanted to get from it. Acknowledging how you're feeling in this moment. Letting your shoulders open out and be held, cradled by the ground. Letting the collarbones be open and the chest and the heart open. Letting your elbows, your arms roll so that the palms of your hands are facing up if you're lying on the ground. Letting your knees and feet fall out equally on both sides. Breathing down into the toes. Acknowledging the feet. Maybe you can feel the sensation of a blanket or socks or some other clothing, or just the air on the skin of your feet. Just noticing whatever your feet are feeling right now. Letting them relax. Letting the ankles be soft. Acknowledging the lower right leg, the shin and the calf. Feeling the contact of the calf with the ground and just letting the calf muscles relax and soften. Completely supported. And acknowledging the lower left leg. Again, letting it soften and relax. Acknowledging the knees. The knees are a common place to feel tension or discomfort. So if at any point you find tension or discomfort, something a little unpleasant in the body, just seeing if you can bring kindly awareness to that, like you would a suffering friend. Relaxing the thighs, letting the quads and the top of the thighs just soften and relax, letting gravity and the earth hold and cradle the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, your buttocks, just letting your glutes melt into the ground. Breathing into the whole lower part of the body, the groin and the pelvic region, the inner thighs, all the way around the thighs, down the knees, lower legs, ankles and feet, and just let them soften as you breathe out. Bringing awareness to the lower back. And even if you feel that the lower back is relaxed, perhaps you can allow it to soften just a little more. Breathing into the belly. Noticing any sensations here. Perhaps you notice subtle digestion sensations if you've eaten today. Or other sensations if you haven't. Just letting the belly be soft. We often hold tension in our guts, in our bellies. Seeing if you can just invite this part of the body, our digestive part of the body, to just soften and relax. Bringing awareness to the solar plexus, the part just a couple of inches below the heart, the base of the sternum. There are a lot of nerve endings in this part of the body. You might place your hand on this area between your heart and your solar plexus. And see if there's a nourishing phrase that you'd like to offer yourself. Just something simple. Acknowledging what you would find nourishing in this moment, this evening, this week. And wishing that for yourself. And when we are nourished, we can nourish others better. Noticing the rise and forward of the chest. As you breathe in and out. Feeling the expansion of the ribs around the back of the body, all the way round to where they meet the spine. And letting the shoulders melt down towards the ground. Feeling where the shoulders become the arms and simply letting the arms be heavy. Letting the hands, the palms and the back of the hands and the fingers and thumbs be heavy. Soft, relaxed, open. Feeling the whole upper body expanding, rising, falling, relaxing. A soothing rhythm of breathing in and out. Allowing the throat to be soft. The lips to be slightly parted as you soften the cheeks and the jaw. Maybe moving the jaw around a little. Letting the eyes be soft in their sockets and the brow to be smooth. Just surrendering the weight of your whole body from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes, allowing the earth to simply hold you. Beginning to move the fingers and toes. Having a full body stretch if that feels good for you. And rolling over to one side. Keep keeping the eyes closed as you bring yourself up to a seated position. Rubbing the palms of the hands together, generating heat. Placing your warm hands over your face with the fingers close to each other. And then parting the fingers and allowing your closed eyelids to open behind the hands. And bringing the fingertips away from the face. And thank you for joining me for the first Mindful Body of 2021.